Right now, there is a pervasive idea across the corporate world that typing a prompt into a large language model and getting a clever response back represents the peak of modern business automation. But a standard AI model is actually a probabilistic reasoning engine. It interprets instructions, analyzes context, and generates text, but it is passive. It waits for your prompt, answers, and then stops. It is essentially a brain in a jar, cut off from the outside world. On the other side of the spectrum is traditional business automation, like robotic process automation, or RPA. These systems do interact with the outside world, but they operate entirely on strict deterministic rules. They are built to follow a very specific set of predefined instructions, over and over again. But watch what happens if a supplier changes the layout of an invoice, or a customer sends a complex email thread instead of a standard form. The automation suddenly halts. The rigid rules cannot account for the anomaly, and the process breaks. This creates a massive operational bottleneck. Most real-world knowledge work is messy and unpredictable. It requires interpretation, reading between the lines, and making decisions based on changing context, not just copying and pasting data from one cell to another. A passive language model can reason, but cannot act, and traditional automation can act, but cannot reason. To solve for dynamic business operations, we need a system that can do both at the same time. This is where an AI agent comes in. An agent is a software ecosystem built around an AI model. Instead of just answering a single question, an agent is given an overarching goal to pursue. Production-grade systems like this are built in specific layers. At the core is the reasoning layer. This is the AI model itself, acting as the cognitive processor to interpret unstructured data and decide what to do next. But to get work done, that brain needs hands. Surrounding the core is the tool and integration layer. These are the APIs, browsers, and CRM connections the agent uses to execute tasks. Without these connections, the reasoning layer is trapped. Next is the memory layer. Short-term memory keeps track of the immediate context of the task at hand, while long-term memory stores historical business rules and past interactions, ensuring the system learns over time. Finally, everything is wrapped in the orchestration layer. This is the management framework. It oversees how the agent plans its sequence of actions, handles unexpected exceptions, and flags a human supervisor if a task falls outside its safety parameters. By stacking these architectural layers together, you take an isolated language model and transform it into an active, autonomous worker. Having the architecture in place is one thing, but the true strength of an agent becomes apparent when you set it in motion, specifically when things go wrong. This diagram shows what happens when an agent attempts a task. It breaks its objective into sequential steps and attempts an action using its tool layer. But here, the action fails. An API might be down, or a specific file format might be unreadable. This is where the feedback loop engages. The agent observes the result of its failed action. It feeds that error back into its reasoning layer, analyzes why it failed, and then formulates a new approach to bypass the obstacle. A standard model would have fired its text generation once and stopped. A traditional RPA script would have crashed instantly and generated a support ticket for a human to fix. Because an agent can observe its own mistakes and self-correct, it can survive the unstructured edge cases that break traditional automation. Scaling this capability across an enterprise allows companies to distribute autonomous decision-making through every department, moving far beyond simple data entry. This transition moves business technology from systems that strictly follow rules to networks that interpret intent and execute end-to-end knowledge work. The near future of enterprise operations relies on multi-agent architectures, interconnected networks of agents integrated directly into company databases and APIs, working together to handle unstructured chaos. For technical managers and operations directors, this creates a clear dividing line. Relying on off-the-shelf chatbots or passive language models is no longer a viable strategy for business automation. The advantage now goes to those who can build systems that execute tasks autonomously. If you are ready to map out your transition from passive text generation to active agentic workflows, connect with ZevIQ AI today.